All right, this tutorial is going to show you the average proportions to the average person. And I want to emphasize the word average because everybody is unique and different in their own way. And some of us are still growing into our facial proportions, but these are the average proportions to the average person. It's a good place to start. So the first thing I've done here is I've already pre-drawn a shape for the head. Usually it's an egg shape, but again, that's a guideline. We are understanding that people have different shaped heads, but we'll start with this sort of egg shape. Now, as I'm going along with this, please refer to your handouts that we have related to examples of each individual feature, and you also have a sample sheet that you can actually draw right on as a practice copy when you're doing yours. I would suggest using a mirror to look at. What we did in class is we took a picture and printed a picture off and used that as our final reference photo for our picture. So again, you can take a picture of yourself or use a mirror, whichever you think would work good. Anyway, let's start with dividing our shape. You see we're going to divide our shape down the middle. That's going to be easier to divide our head symmetrically. And the next guideline we're going to need to know is the eye line. The eye line is approximately halfway down our skull. So I'm going to put a few dots there. So somewhere about halfway down will be our eye line. Now, the average person's head is 5 eyes wide. What that means is if you took one of your eyes and started from one side of your face and went to the other side of your face, you could get 5 eyes across. So what I tell people to do is start by putting the guideline in the middle eye, which we don't want, and then I divide this in half. And these are just guidelines to help us space out our eyes. If you should mess up your guidelines, just get rid of them and then start again. All right, now that we have our face divided up into 5 eyes, now we're going to draw our eyes. Now, the eye has several parts to it. I'm going to draw a larger eye over here just as a reference point. So we're going to start by drawing sort of a football shape. So we'll do the half of the football at the top. And then we're going to draw the iris. The iris is the color part of the eye, and it's usually covered up by top part of the eyelid. So we're going to bring the iris in like this. And then the pupil is the black part of the eye, like so. And then we could draw the other part. You have a tear duct in the corner of your eye, so your eye comes up a little bit and then matches up at the bottom of your eye like so. This is your tear duct area right there. And then your eyelid is actually above your eye, so it's going to come up here. And there's not really an eyelid on the bottom, but a lot of times you'll see a bit of a skin fold right here, so I'll put a little line like that. Now the last part of the eye is the eyelashes. The eyelashes kind of go up small, kind of curl up and out. They get longer away from the eye. Again, I'm drawing with this marker that may not always show the lines exactly perfectly. So if we drew one of our eyes in here, we would start with the top of the eye like so. Let me switch to black. We would draw our iris, and then we would draw our pupil. And then we would draw the lower part of our eye. The tear duct is going to be in that neighborhood. And then we do our eyelid above. And a little bit of the skin below it. Just like that. And again, you would repeat the other one on the other side of the face. Now the next proportion we're going to do is we're going to do the nose. Now the nose is approximately 1/3 to 1/2 down our face. So let's put a guideline again for that. So I'd say somewhere about 1/3 to 1/2. So we'll put a line right here. The next guideline is how wide are our nose. The average nose is going to be about as wide as where your tear ducts are, or the corner of your eyes, just like that. Now, when you draw your nose, I'm going to draw it over here. I look at it as three parts. You have the nostrils, you have the ball of your nose, and you have the bridge of your nose. So if we have some guidelines, think of it as a C, a backward C, and then a U in the middle that comes up and around, up and around. The ball of your nose is right here, and the bridge is the one that kind of angles up and then kind of comes out. Angles in and kind of comes out. So that's generally the parts of the nose. So if we were to draw that nose over here, you would see that there's the backward C. And then the backward C over here, the other backward C and a forward C. And then we have the round shape at the bottom. Nostrils kind of come up and out. And again, refer to your handouts to help you. Sometimes it's difficult to draw with this big fat marker. All right, so after that, our next proportional guideline is going to be from the bottom of our nose to our chin is our mouth line. So I'd say about halfway down, we're going to draw another guideline. This guideline will use the middle of the eyes along with that first guideline. About the middle of the eyes, where the pupils are, is about how wide the average person's mouth is. That's the corners of their mouth. Now, again, above this, we are going to start drawing our upper lip. Now, most people's upper lip, again, is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to start with a little V there. And I'm just going to angle this down just like so. I'm going to angle this one down just like so. And again, this is just if your mouth is closed. Obviously, it would change if you're smiling in your picture. And then there's a curved shape underneath the front lip, and then this just curves back like that. And then the bottom lip is a little bit fuller. So angle this down and kind of bring it around so the bottom lip is a little bit fuller like that. So now we have our lips. Now we still have enough space here for our chin. So, and then the next thing we have to do is ears and hair. So one thing about hair, if we bring our bridge of our nose, it's going to come up somewhere about where your eyebrows are going to be. Little lines there. This is going to angle up. And the thing about hair and ears, the ears are going to be about between your eyebrows, eye line to about the bottom of your nose. So if we put a guideline for that, somewhere in this neighborhood will be your ear. And then it's just a matter of making the top shape a little bit wider. And it comes in, comes out a little bit, and then there's your, how big it is depends on, again, each person. But that's generally the outside shape. And in the cartilage of the ear, you have some little lines on the inside of your ear like so. Again, kind of keep it simple like that. And of course, you do the other side of your ear to make that symmetrical. Now your hair, you generally want to get the general outside of your hair. I always start with the front of my hair. Do I have bangs? And I just kind of figure out the angle they would go. If I have a hair that's curving over like this, let's say I have some sideburns, I figure out then how far out from my ear does my hair go. Does my hair go out here? And I just bring this around. And then what I like to do is just kind of put the lines in that actually follows the direction of my hair. And if it was parted this way and so on, it would be the same thing. Bring this around and just follow that all around there if you have really short hair. Now, there are many different types of hairstyles. So let's get rid of this hair. If your hair is really short, I get rid of this hair. Sometimes it's really short. It's going to be difficult to get every single hairstyle with it. Let's try it like a short. Sometimes if I have my hair cut really short, I might just sort of come in here like this and then bring this around again. Maybe I have a little bit of sideburns, maybe not. And then bring this around. If it's sticking up a little bit, you can add some spikes if you're spiking up. And then maybe it combs back this way. Jenny, you're going to make some observations about your hair and your style of your hair. The last thing I will tell you is your neck. Your neck's going to come a little bit inside of your ear. It's going to come down like so. And then your shoulders, the average person's shoulders is about the width of their head. So your shoulders are going to come out quite a bit farther. I just angle them out and just run that off the page. And the last thing, maybe give yourself a simple shirt collar, whether you want a V-neck or a button shirt, maybe you want a t-shirt like I'm drawing. And there you have it, the average proportions of the average person. Again, use them as guidelines to help you draw yours, but again, use a reference picture, i.e. a mirror or a photograph that you take of yourself. And as always, there are many wonderful resources on YouTube that show a number of different tutorials for facial proportions, and you can consult YouTube for other examples of how to draw people. Thank you.